Sengoku, and I believe that is, I want to say the Teach there in his
That
hand?
is a 2-cost Teach. So Zach's probably not going to be using Teach nearly as much.
No.
Just because never mind, he drew a Jinbei, so I think he is.
Yeah,
going to use
I mean, obviously that's an optimal combo, going to Jinbei into Weevil.
Yep, so now we get that nice Jinbei Weevil.
Yep, playing that out. And looking at Xavier's hand, he does have a Boa. I did see a Perfume. He has a Jozu, and he does have the Gravity Blade, which will come very in handy for him later on. Maybe at that 10 Dawn turn.
Looks like there's a trigger, so it might be a Gravity Blade trigger.
No,
it was
just a
Sengoku.
Sengoku. He's just obviously trying to psych Zach out at this point.
Yep.
Which, fair
so
enough.
at this point, though, you do need to find the best way to establish your own board, whilst also dealing with Zach's board.
Yep.
This is how the matchup is. It's a mirror match.
Playing the Sengoku here, probably trying to find that lore would be my guess. Does see another Weevil, does have to bomb deck another Weevil, Perona, and a Jozu, which is a little unfortunate here.
Yep. So this is probably going to be another, maybe a Teach turn.
Yep, playing that Teach.
Sadly, Xavier doesn't also have a Jinbei in hand, so he can't. He's not putting on the same amount of pressure as Zach.
Yes, but he's just doing the best he can in here.
But he's still very early in the game. So.
Yeah, we shouldn't count Xavier out just yet. We've seen him be very impressive. And there's the Jinbei, which is very nice for next turn. But yeah, going 7 into that Jinbei and getting rid of it.
Zach's more than happy to take it. He's only got 4 cards in hand. You don't want to go down to 2. That's a death sentence. And also, he has a Gecko in hand, so that Jinbei in bin is totally fine.
Yeah, it's totally good for him. So I imagine he'll probably play the Sengoku here.
Yep.
He did Perona his deck before, so he might not want to just yet, but he does know what's there, so... And thank you to our cameraman. I think he's adjusting the camera.
Xavier with the 10-cost Kaido as well in hand. That was such a critical thing in the Black-Yellow Luffy matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know in this matchup if it's going to ever see the field. It might if it's
I think it depends how much life Xavier has. He's at 3 life now, so it might be a bit risky depending on what happens. I mean, Xavier does have the Gravity Blade, so he's not worried probably too much.
Yep. Lore to bounce this Weevil is kind of huge because, as we mentioned, you're just keeping the opponent's board empty and still putting on pressure with the cards that remain.
100%. And now, using Teach here, I think he put the Gecko there, so he's going to swing 7.
You could also just play the Lore again and just, bounce the Teach.
You could, but I just don't think there's that much value in it. Too much.
Zach going down to 2 already, and Xavier going to 2 and Zach at 5 life. This is where I would start to worry.
Yeah, both in an interesting spot here. Yeah, Xavier is at low life, but Zach is at low hand size, so both have their advantages here and also disadvantages being here. Now, we do know Xavier has that Gravity Blade, so he may even just want to...
I feel like he can't do it this turn.
No.
It's too much... Actually, no, it might be worthwhile with a Teach on field.
Potentially. It depends here. I feel like if you're Xavier, maybe if you want to play Gravity, swing in with the Dofi into the Gecko just for 5. Just see to get a card out of hand and then go from there.
Isn't he on 8 Don?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Apologies. I thought he was on
7. No, he's on 7. Or 6.
No, he would be on 8 because Zach went first.
Is he on 6?
He might be on 6.
Wow, this is...
Well, we are showing that we can count today, so...
But yeah, so if Gravity Blade's actually out of the question this time.
Yeah, never mind. I'm assuming he's just going to be Jinbei and Weevil here, or potentially Jinbei Boa, and then...
Jinbei Boa, attach a Don, probably use Martial D Teach effect to play the Lore, and then bounce the Weevil and just...
Plays the Jinbei there. Playing out the Lore. Yep. So you may be doing the play that you mentioned last turn, getting that Lore out twice there to get rid of those 2 cards. And that very, very nice. And I guess the question
is... And now you're like, okay, if I let this die, yep, that's it. I think bouncing Teach is going to be super relevant.
Yep.
It's just 2 extra done they have to spend.
Yeah. I mean, he does get it back, obviously, with Teach Effect, but he still has to spend that $2.
Yep.
So Zach here now deciding, because he's at 5 life, and yeah, so just lets it die. I think, yeah, fair call on him doing that.
And in terms of Sengoku Search, great start.
Ooh,
You do have to be a bit risky.
Yeah, 3 2Ks is rough there for him, so he has to grab one of them.
You also have to be thinking as Xavier's. Like, I have to be putting on enough pressure to make him, for him to replenish his board. He can't putting me in response.
But as we were saying before this match starts, I mean, board state has now completely switched. Xavier was a full field. Zach was only one thing on field. So I feel like Xavier's plan here is just to really just starve Zach out of resources here, because he hasn't really hit his life once, or even I don't even believe he's attempted to as of yet.
Yep, and I feel like that's typically the way you want to approach this matchup as any other deck anyways.
Yep.
So it makes sense in the mirror match that it's the same plan.
And Xavier was just confirming his hand size, which is quite hefty. You can see on the table there. So, yeah, Zach is in a little bit of a tight spot here. So he's probably going to play that Jinbei.
Is it just a classic Jinbei Weevil angle here?
I don't know. I'm just like, do you just play the Teach for free and then use ability? No, plays the Law. Bouncing it back.
You bounce a Jinbei here, right? Like,
yeah, because you don't want to give that Law back to Xavier, because he's just going to do it again next turn.
You need to swing into that Law.
Yeah,
bouncing the Teach. People are just moving on to bouncing Teachers now.
Well, it's such a... I think we underestimate how valuable that card is in this matchup.
Yeah. It's the one that facilitates all the plays for 1 Don.
So Zach playing his own Teach there for 2, leaving him 1 Don.
Teach Effect now.
Putting Weevil back on top, so he just wants to draw, which, again, at 5 life, you are being starved for resources, so no problem there. And Xavier getting out of that with a 2K and a 1K.
Another Gravity Blade. This is...
maybe Gravity Blade time?
I think it might be, just because Xavier has a field this turn. Like, he doesn't need to dedicate too much to it. He can't use Leader Effect if he does Gravity Blade, but
again, as we've seen Xavier, he doesn't typically do it anyhow.
Oh, no, just going straight for life.
Which is interesting. I thought you would go 6 with maybe 6 into Weevil, see if it dies, and then Gravity Blade after that. Maybe even just pass turn there, but
might not even be a Gravity Blade angle this turn. Maybe it is just re-establish Martial D-Teach and just keep going.
Potentially.
I know we know he's got a Jozu in hand, which is incredibly hard for the deck to remove outside of other Jozus.
Yeah.
So this could be just a Jozu angle.
Just going 5 at lead here with Law there. See if you get 1 card out of hand. Because, I think Zach's probably just been wearing off the pudding. Probably heard about it last game. Gets rid of his own Teach. I mean, an option could be Gravity Blade. Used. Oh, no, he doesn't have Teach on field anymore. Fair. Apologies, I thought he said Teach. Going 6 into that Weevil there. Zach obviously knowing that potentially a Gravity Blade is coming. 4 cards in hand there for Zach. So, honestly, Gravity Blade would be pretty good at this point. I guess the question is,
Yep. Jinbei is just such a good card for all the work he facilitates, and then he's just a 5K body on board as well. Like, leaving him on field is totally fine.
Yeah, because we also know as well Xavier had to bottom quite a few 2Ks already. He does have a hefty hand, but you can only see maybe 2 2Ks in hand, so he's probably just being wary of that 6K body on field. Zach does have that Jozu, so he could potentially use that.
Is that a pudding in Zach's hand as well?
I believe so. I didn't quite catch it. So it might even just be a double Law turn here. Bouncing back that Jinbei. Bounce back the law. And playing that pudding.
That's a clever pudding.
Yeah, that is a very good pudding for Zach there. You know, Xavier did have quite a hefty hand there. He does lose that perfume. He does lose that Kaido.
Loses his own pudding.
Yep.
I think there was another gravity blade in there as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, 2 gravity blades have been lost. So yeah, now basically similar hand size to Xavier and Zach here. Xavier was 5, and I think Zach has 4 cards in hand.
Although Xavier now has a really quite strong hand.
Yep. So yeah, imagine now he's just got to go hit twice into that Jinbei, just get hopefully 2 cards out of Xavier's hand. Yep, getting rid of that pudding because.
You can see him holding.
A second pudding.
Yeah.
I mean, it is good in the sense that he can just get rid of it.
Yep, it's a dead card when Zach's below 5.
Yep. And then just, Sengoku.
But he's in a pretty good spot still. He's got a Croc 2K, Jozu, and a Perona Sojo. That is a very strong next turn still.
Now, Zach just assigning, I did see that there was a Weevil, but there was also a 2K there that he may just want to grab just to hopefully save something.
Yep, looks like he's grabbing the 2K Mihawk.
And just pass his turn there. Just want to say as well, usually with mirror matches, they're not always the most entertaining, but, these players are both playing the games, so competitively and so great that, they just make them very entertaining and very insightful to watch here.
If that Jinbei hits life, that 10-drop card is a pretty good play.
Yeah. And Zach does have very low hand size here. He's thinking about giving up the Jozu here. Looking at what he's getting next turn. Because, that 10 cost could be very devastating here to Zach if he does play it. Giving up a 2K. 3 cards left in hand here, so playing Perona.
Yep, no need to then
play
around everything. You can just keep your regular tempo game plan happening. That's not a very good top 5.
No, 2 Jozus,
But luckily there was a Sengoku, so you can at least stack it so when it's your next turn you just draw that Sengoku and then that stack's going to be irrelevant.
I think there may have been a lore in there. I could be wrong, but there was something 4 cost in there. The back there.
Yep, there is a bounce lore, which I'm not 100% certain what you want to bounce in this matchup when they're looking at that board. You can return the pudding, but I don't think you want to.
Not sure, to be honest. Because he does... so it goes 7.
Yep, this is just going to let the Jinbei die.
Surely grab back the 2K. Hey.
Did he just... Oh, yeah, because he bounced it. Yep.
Oh, so it's bounced back something, then you can bounce anything back.
Yep.
Okay, apologies. Which makes more sense, definitely.
Clears up the board.
Mm-hmm. And then 6 left, which is enough to do a Jozu. Returns the pudding.
Returning the pudding.
Which I don't blame him. Xavier's hand is very tiny here, so it'd actually be...
It's back to 5.
Back to 5, but you really don't want to do it until it's 7, maybe. Because, 5 is I could potentially just give you the same cards again. So it looks like Zach and Xavier both same card size.
I feel like it's just going to be... If Zach can't necessarily clear the board this turn, that's almost just going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, so playing the buggy, sees a Weevil, sees a 2K, and sees another 2K.
That's not necessarily what you want.
Not terrible, though, because you can at least draw a 2K off the Weevil.
But yeah, so at this point you just have to swing into that lore.
And the Weevil. Xavier could get out of it, which he does. Prona and a 2K.
And then with the 6 remaining Don, you can play your own Jozu. If there is one?
Yeah, he does have a Jozu at the back, which honestly I would probably do. But it's like, what do you want to bounce back? Do you want to bounce back the Jinbei or Law, or do you bounce back your own characters?
I think you bounce back the Jozu.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's partly why some people are on the 7-cost Dofi take Jozu, can't bounce it, so it is a bit worse in every way, but
yeah,
in that one specific niche.
Yeah, I think most matchups I've seen was Dofi, when they play Jozu, they're just always bouncing one of the 4-cost, never usually the Jozu. But I guess the question is now, does Xavier just do some light taps here just to maybe get down to 3?
Xavier can legitimately just go like 5k Law swing, play Jozu, bounce Law to bounce his Jozu, and then play that Law again to bounce the Weevil. Like,
yeah,
he can just keep the pressure up on Zach and just keep bouncing the Jozu Weevil every single turn.
But then at the same time, Zach can also be starting to do that as well. So going for life here. Xavier probably just trying to get him and Zach on the same sort of footing here because they're similar hand size. And but Zach does have the life advantage at the moment. But similar to before, Zach's probably thinking, are you about to drop a 10-cost?
And 5k swings are so annoying for Dofi. It's just like, I might have 6 cards in hand, but chances are most of them are actually 2k counters. Like, I don't want to burn a 2k on a 1k counter.
Yeah, which would be very annoying. So Zach did get that 1-cost, so the 4-cost Law off life.
Okay, so they're both back in the scenario where they can just keep playing Law Jozus.
Yep.
Although Xavier committing to not playing both this turn.
Ooh, unfortunate. So he does get a Boa and a Teach, so it's just a question of what he wants.
Never mind. I think Teach actually enables this play again. So, yep. So probably going to see a Teach here. Oh, it's a blind.
Oh, is he? He's just risking it. Whoa, that was risky on Xavier's part, but it turned out for the best for him. He's probably,
Was it that risky for Xavier? I feel like he's seen a lot of non-Warlord cards, actually, at this point.
I was going to say, he has done a few Purinas, a few Buggies and Sengoku, so he probably did the math. It's probably more likely than not 7 Warlords card. And as well, even if it misses, he's still doing the Jozu play, so it doesn't actually matter too much.
Yeah.
So, worst case...
Potentially for the rest of this game, it's just 6 Don is dedicated to bouncing Jozu every turn.
Yeah. And you just never swing with Jozu. Because you never get a chance to.
Yeah. Until someone draws a Gravity Blade and then...
Yeah.
Definitely a very close back and forth.
Yeah. They are seeing the perfect cards they need to see. I think the only thing that might be very devastating for either one would if one gets a Gravity Blade. Because then, they could get rid of that Jozu Law combo.
Yeah.
But very close game at the moment here.
Also blinding. Oh, well, it's not blind, it's buggied.
Yep, seeing that. Bouncing back the Prona, I'm guessing? Or would he bounce back the 2k?
Or is he just wanting a 5k body on field?
Maybe. But Crockett does allow you to bounce something back down, so...
it would stop him from playing Jozu this turn if he does Croc effect.
And Xavier getting out of that, and it appears that he's choosing not to use Croc effect.
Keeping the Kaido in hand is... Yep, every turn that Jozu's gone.
Yep. I think this might be a little bit of back and forth here. Both players... Zach's got a healthy hand now.
I think... Yeah, Zach might actually be in slight advantage here at the moment.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens here. Because I'm sure Xavier might be praying here for a little bit of a 7-cost Gravity Blade here, but that would be a pretty huge thing. And unfortunately, I think that Kaido is a bit dead in hand because he just can't risk it. He's seen too many 2Ks and.
Is this just a Law bounce the Jinbei to bounce a Croc and then Jozu to bounce the Law?
Yeah, I feel like both players are maybe slightly going for the, just the emotions here. So swing Mihawk, no effect. Just trying to get cards out of Xavier's hand here.
Yep. If this croc... I mean, you've thrown away 3 cards to protect this croc. Do you just keep throwing cards out?
I mean, you know the Josu's coming. You know the law's coming. So you know he's going to play... Oh, interesting. He
just goes for the Kaido.
Interesting. Xavier taking a risk here. Maybe he's assuming Zach will just do the Joes. Well, he actually can't do the Jozo combo again, so maybe Xavier's just sick of this game and just wants to see how it goes. But that 10 cost is definitely going to be very annoying for Zach here, especially if he doesn't.
If you're Zach, you're like, I think I can go for game now. Like, he's just drawn 4. Chances are they're not going to be all 2Ks.
No. Yeah, he's doing that exactly now, checking how many 2Ks Xavier has seen and looking at his hand. Not looking fantastic.
You also know he has a Jozo in hand, so there's like 1K counter.
Looking at Xavier's hand, he just did a quick flick through. Did not see any 2Ks in there, so...
And if I was Zach, I was like, I'll have to go for game this turn. Like, that 12 cost Kaido is guaranteed damage.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I know what's in his hand. No blockers in hand, so yeah. A couple 2Ks, but yeah, swinging 8. Xavier, unfortunately, would have to give up at least 4 cards here because he doesn't have any 2Ks from before.
And I feel like if you throw that 4 out, you've just shown to Zach that like, I've got absolutely nothing. So it might not be worthwhile.
No. Unless he's trying to play some sort of... Again, we might have not seen his full hand, but yeah, he's trying to do the math here. Because he could also be playing mind games of, I'll throw out 4 1 costs, but maybe I'm just pretending they don't have any 2Ks that you overdo. Because I have done that myself before.
Yeah.
So.
And with 8 Don left, like...
Trying to take that.
Gets a 2K croc. So 8 again.
So Xavier there's 2K, so he can get out of that.
And how much Don is remaining? 5?
He's used what, that? Yeah, 5 Don left, so...
Yeah, so
could also swing his buggy as well.
I was going to say, he could also just... Okay, Xavier does actually have, 13... Can go to 13 in hand.
Yeah, so he has that 1 2K, and then I think the rest are just 1s.
If he takes this, could he, in theory, then just, like...
Potentially.
Counter out and then just try and win next turn? I feel like that might be the way here.
Because, Zach could then just do 5 dofing and then put the rest under Josie for 12.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what that...
Last life is.
Yeah. So it is unfortunately a dead card here, but...
So 12.
Going for 12. So let's see what Xavier does here. He may just have enough.
Maybe. Let's find out. No.
Leave your scoop. Yep. So he didn't show, so I have to assume that Zach won that game there. So and it's come up. Yep. So Zach has won that game. So congratulations, round 1. Very back and forth there was the Jozo Law combo.
Yeah, Xavier definitely looked in control at the start. But, after that first pudding, it sort of...
Yeah, went down a little bit of hill. And, some surprising moves there for Xavier as well, taking a few risks, with that blind search, and then also just playing that Kaido out. Maybe he just thought his best bet was to just play that Kaido, hopefully gets a few 2Ks, and then go for game next turn, because he just didn't want to do this back and forth, because Zach was getting a big hand, so it could have just been fear from Xavier that, if this keeps going, I'm just not going to be able to do anything, because, I've seen too many, things I need, and, but... No, interesting. We're going to game 2 now. There's no timer on streams, so I assume it's just having as much time as they need to. So, we'll go into game 2 here, and hopefully maybe we can get a 3rd round as well if Xavier's able to pull this off, which hopefully will be, because that's always more exciting. But a lot of pressure here on Xavier to hopefully get the win.
Yep. And this is a really quite a great introduction into the next format as well, where Dofi remains top dog.
Yeah. Going to next set, Dofi doesn't particularly change anything, really. Maybe as you were saying, maybe off stream about the red rocks and stuff, but realistically, they just
it's only a couple of changes.
Yeah,
so
it's such minor. Just think of a nail; they don't really change much every set. So, yeah, Dofi is the same thing. But Xavier deciding to mulligan his hand. Oh, Zach has Weevil and appears to have 2 of the bounces of Lore, so that is very nice for him.
Let's see who is going to go first.
So Zach went first last turn, and now see if he wants to go first again this turn.
All right, so Zach is going first.
And does he have...
He's got Sengoku, which is always a great start. I think hitting a Teach here would be one of the best cards he could see.
So putting Perona, and I can't see what make up the other cards are there, but 2 dead cards at least. Oh, yep, he's got that Teach.
He's got that Teach. Yep, so chances are Zach's just going to be trying to play that Teach Weevil next turn, establish a board, and then the onus is on Xavier to just have those Lore bounces and just keep the pressure up. But
yeah. So Xavier has his own Teach in hand as well, so he may also just play that as well. Also having, I believe that's a Jimbei, a Mihawk, and I think that was a Gecko at the back there.
Yep, and a Boa.
It's kind of crazy that when the Star decks came out, people weren't really even playing Teach particularly. I remember there was such a low, but now it's like I feel like a 4 of in every Dofi deck.
Just the sheer amount of plays it facilitates. Like, I know people are saying, like, oh, it costs you a card from him. Like, not really. You're playing that card for 1 Don.
And you know what it is most of the time. Like, if it was like trash a card, sure, but
1 costs 5k, great stat line.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. It can also be attack, as you've just said. But yeah, draws a card there, gets that another...
Peruna.
No, I think that was a Lore there. Xavier, think about what he wants to do this turn, but already a scary field here for Zach.
Yep. That first, like, the only thing that could have been better is if there was a Jimbei in that hand.
Yeah, that would be
Like,
very nice.
That is just so much tempo.
I feel like Xavier's best bet. Just play that Perona, see what you get, and then you can potentially also do Teach as well if nothing is good. Ooh, Gravity Blade is very nice there, and a Jimbei.
There is the classic combo, which is never bad.
I think that was also a pudding on top there as well, so that could also be the clap back here for Xavier, 1 for 1. Paying back Zach for his pudding last turn. Xavier probably just really thinking out what he wants to do here, how he wants to order, because
trying to plan your next 3 turns every single time you play Perona is like hard enough, like let alone in the finals of a regional.
On camera,
stream.
on stream, white noise in your ear.
Every single person going to be like watching the stream, judging your like moves. You've got all this pressure behind you.
100%, yeah. I feel like looking at that order, I feel like you put Weevil, play Weevil, next turn draw into either Pudding or Gravity Blade, and then play the other Jimbei.
Drawing the Pudding.
Yep, that's fair. It's counter at the very least. And would be very devastating for Zach here, seeing the 3 Lores in hand.
Issue with Zach's hand at the moment is no 2k counters.
Yeah.
So swinging 7 into this Weevil is very unfortunate for him.
Mm-hmm. He does have a card at the back there, but I believe that's just another Lore.
Yep. Oh, yeah, another Teach.
Oh, interesting. He is trying to save that. So it has indicated to Xavier here that, okay, I got no 2Ks. So 5 Don here. It has drawn a Boa, which will be very helpful here for him here. I feel like maybe 6 into just the Weevil, just get a card out of his hand.
Yeah,
maybe,
like at this point, it's all about just trying to make sure you get enough cards out of your opponent's hand. So 6 lead. Xavier's saying, I'm not like you, I have 2Ks.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Just playing the Weevil, drawing a card, getting a Jozu. So his hand is whole, just returned basically cards. He got 3 laws from 1 Jozu. It kind of.
I think he's fine at the moment though. He can still put the Teach effect to put Law on top of the deck, play Law, bounce Weevil.
Yeah. I don't think he's in a bad. I'm just saying his whole hand is just returns basically at this point. But unfortunately, no 2Ks.
He's got a really nice board for like tempo, so the onus is definitely on Xavier to try to remove this board. And with his current hand, I don't know if he can.
No. I mean, we do know Xavier has a Jinbei in that deck of his, so we assume that probably next turn he's going to be playing it. Very nice on the bowler blind hit. Or apology, I might have used Teach on that ability.
He did use Teach. I didn't realize he had a boa.
Yeah. So deciding what he wants, so what was it? It was a Sengoku Croc, and I just missed the other one. Apologies.
Jozu. The classic Jozu.
I mean, I feel like you put that on the bottom of the free just because you already have so many of them in hand. That's just like, don't really need it right now. You need that 2K more.
This is actually a pretty good play, swinging 8 into the Weevil to force 2 cards out.
And then gets that putting out, which is fair because Zach's hand is not particularly big, but I'm sure if Xavier knew what was in his hand, he might want to change his mind about that.
But at the same time, Zach's hand isn't actually super threatening. It is just really annoying with that Law Jozu.
Yeah, if he can get the combo off, it's going to be definitely annoying for Xavier here. So 6 going to 6. Let's see what he does here.
Crazy boards for 5 Don and 4 Don. Like, you have to look at this and be like, this is... No other deck can really keep up with this, like, easily.
Yeah, like people make fun of, Gecko for, 8 Don for 22 Dons worth, whatever it is, but, like, this is just even crazier at 4 Don, what you can do. Even less so if you have to Teach on the field already. 3 Don, what can you do with that?
So we're going 8 into the boa.
But, yep, totally fair.
You know it's going to die when he didn't have a 2K last attack.
Going 8 into the Weevil, playing that Jinbei, which we assumed he played, and what will he play out? Playing Gecko, getting back a 2K. Very nice. Love to see that recursion there. And then just passing it back to Zach here. So he is at 7 now, so he can play that Jozu if he wants to. So
it's a tough call. Like, playing Jozu is great. It's going to establish that giant body on board that needs to be answered with another Jozu or a Gravity Blade.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you really want to give up the ability to swing it like these Weevils and things?
I feel like it's almost worthwhile to play the Jozu, bounce something back, then use Teach effect to place that Law on top of deck, and then use leader ability to pop something back to your opponent's hand. That way, at least the board will be clear, which I think he might be doing here.
Let's find out. Bouncing Sengoku. You could also just play that Sengoku.
That's the other thing as well.
Yeah, I think Weevil is the one you have to bounce at this game.
Yep.
Just bouncing the Jinbei means he's going to get
another
free body on board.
Yep, and you can't risk it.
And then bouncing Gecko is just probably the worst option of them all because he can add back anything he wants.
And then, swinging lead into the Jinbei.
This does look like a Law. Then he was probably bouncing the Teach. Oh, bouncing the Gecko.
I'm surprised he bounced the Gecko back because I think Xavier Build only had 1 Gecko in it. So he can just get that Gecko back next turn. So Jinbei back.
Drawing the Gravity Blade, that's kind of huge.
He does have 1 in hand already, but it does mean he can go double Gravity Blade if he wants to, which, he just does that now. Getting rid of those 2.
Teach effect, put Jinbei on top.
Yep.
You've got a Weevil in hand.
Or even put, you put, as you're right saying, put Jinbei on top, play Jinbei, and then play Gecko to get that other Jinbei back.
Yeah, and then you're ready for Jinbei Weave for the next turn with the,
Yeah. Again, crazy as the Dofi plays being able to, clear board and then get board back. Like, just shows the power of Dofi.
No, it just goes for Jinbei Weevil.
Which, no, that is totally fair enough as well. He does have a lot. He did have 2 Weevils in hand already, so Might as well clear, keep that counter, because that's what let him down last turn.
Yeah, the matchup's really interesting. It feels like there's a lot of like just bouncing constant pressure, but it really comes down to just like one explosive turn where they try and punch through from 2-0.
Yeah.
Every single time. And it's just all about navigating your way into that spot as quickly as possible and effectively as possible, so you're not going to just get smacked from 2-4 or 2-0.
Yeah. Now, Zach could, if he wanted to, he could double Law, getting rid of that Jimbei and Weevil, if he so chose, or even Weevil and the Teach. Yeah, which he may be doing here. Yep.
Looks like it's happening.
Yeah, that. Fortunately, by doing this, he can't really establish board too much.
He can actually triple Law.
He could triple Law. That you are correct in that.
I don't think that's the play, but
because are you bouncing Jimbei and then Teach back? Like, yeah, it's not the ideal, but given what Zach has in hand, he does know that that Jozu is coming up in his deck, so I believe that's the next card he's going to draw. Signed to Sengoku, so he will lose that Jozu that he did have the top of deck there. Jimbei.
It's the Jimbei, which is nice.
That is good because he can play the Jimbei, get out the Law, and then get rid of that other Jimbei, or potentially Teach.
Yep. And just start trying to flood the field on your own as well.
Yeah. So unfortunately, he does lose a Boa blocker, but so let's see what he does here. But Xavier's probably not sweating it because he has that other Gravity Blade in hand.
Another Sengoku.
Interesting. So he's probably just going to do the Teach play after this, but he just wants to probably get counter, my guess would be. Another Law, a 2K.
Well, there is a 2K in there, so let's see if he grabs it. Probably.
I feel like he has to.
I don't think you need more Laws in this.
Oh, he might be. He is grabbing the other Law. All right, fair enough. I mean, he has seen all four now, I believe. One's in trash, and one is at bottom of deck, I want to say. Or was that... What did Xavier Gravity Blade? Was it a Jozu and was it a Weevil?
I thought it was a Weevil, yeah.
Okay, it might have been just a Weevil. But I'm pretty sure we've seen all four, so the other three might just be in his hand.
And realistically, you could also just swing 9 into the Jimbei here and bounce the Teach, and you've still done the effectiveness of clearing the board, but you've actually killed something. Admittedly, we also know we're going to be... we have a Gecko in hand that can just add that Jimbei back. But
well, I think that's probably what Zach is thinking. Okay, yeah, you do have that Gecko, but if I don't kill the Jimbei or return the Jimbei, you'll just, Jimbei Gecko, and then,
as mentioned, it's always just about bouncing your opponent's board or minimizing the amount of damage they can do in the next turn in this mirror match.
Yeah.
And Law is amazing for that.
Oh, 100%.
And all the tools Dofi has to access Law, such as Perona, Gecko, Buggy.
So Xavier may want to here just play that Gravity Blade, get rid of the Jimbei and Law, play the Teach, and then just build board again for the fourth time in this game.
Oh, it's the matchup.
Yeah. So we'll see what he does here. But yeah, that would be my idea of what he's heading towards. But he may just want to even just I think he does have a Law in hand.
Sorry, I can't actually see that Gecko in there anymore.
It is in there somewhere, but let's see. It is in there. It's one of those shiny SPs.
It's the second last card, yep.
Bit hard to catch on camera, potentially. Yeah, Xavier's a bit of a dilemma here, because he could do what I mentioned before with Gravity and Teach, but he could also just try to do the do Gecko and get the Jimbei, play the Boa. And he could even play Teach as well, so he get 4 characters on field, which would be quite crazy. But that would also leave Zach with a big field as well.
Yeah, I think it looks like this might be just a Gravity Blade Teach put Bar on top of the deck and then like swing into the Jimbei.
Yeah.
And that way you've got a board, you've removed his board and potentially like 2 cards from hand.
Yeah, 100%. Because I'm not sure what Zach build has currently, but I know Gecko isn't really a huge thing anymore in Dofi, so he's maybe Xavier has seen his build and be like, yeah, I know you don't play many Geckos, so I'm not worried if you're putting that Jimbei back in trash.
Opting for the Joser.
Which, fair play, popping back the Law and his own Perona. And then for another 4, playing potentially Boa.
Could also just play the Perona and then use Leader Effect.
That's true. Or, yep. And then, Perona Teach, even. That could be another option as well. That's the thing about Dofi. It's such a versatile toolbox deck. You can do so many things. And designed to Pudding. Very interesting. Obviously, just wants to get rid of the laws because Xavier knows how annoying those are in this matchup.
Does Zach just manage to draw the Law again and like maybe the Jozu again?
Well, we know he had 1 bottomed and he had another, I believe, another 2 in hand, at least another 1. So let's see what he gets. And then just going 5 into the Jimbei. Oh, that is not a bad hand there.
Yeah, Jimbei, Weevil, Boa, Pudding, and...
I want to say there's another Jimbei at the back there.
I think it is.
So purely just counting out that was Pudding.
No way. Xavier has like
7
Xavier? Cards in hand.
Oh, apologies. I thought Xavier had a lower hand size. So would it be a Jimbei counter? You do have another one in hand. Which looks like he is doing that.
Yeah, the classic... You can actually go Jimbei, Boa, Lead Effect, and Pudding all in the same turn.
That would be kind of crazy, to be honest.
Oh, he's just got the Law.
And the
Law's not super useful right now.
Yeah.
You don't want to return a Pudding. But
you don't particularly want to return a Pudding. I mean, you would never use the Pudding, I don't think, now, because Zach's hand is quite small. But
actually, you could return it and then just Pudding that.
That is true, but then hopefully he gets that again.
Let's see. Jimbei, Law, yep.
Law bouncing back the Pudding. Playing the Pudding, very nice, as you said.
And still gives him access to just using Teach into Lead Effect, or just swinging 7. Like, you don't have to use Lead Effect. Yeah, most Dofi players haven't used Lead Effect this week, and it feels like outside of this match, so...
I mean, I think the one time Xavier has used Lead Effect really was just on that last game, was that a blind hit.
And suddenly the tempo is massively in Zach's favour.
Yep.
He's got a full board that can all attack.
So using Teach. Going to put in that Weevil back, which is fair enough to get that draw. Deciding what he wants to do here. Just going 6 at Dofi.
Yeah.
Look, just get cards out of his hand. And then, using that 7. Getting rid of Sengoku, drawing a card. Hopefully. I think that might have been a Sengoku. And then pass him turn. And Xavier had to take that because he had.
And that's such a huge threat. There's no more Gravity Blades in Xavier's deck.
Yeah.
There probably shouldn't be.
There's 1 more left.
Is it?
He had 2 in hand. That's what I was thinking. If he does Gravity Blade, then next turn Gravity Blade. So potentially he could redraw it.
Drawing the Kaido as well is unfortunate.
It's not a terrible situation, but he does have to get him down to 3 life, and I don't know if Xavier wants to give Zach any more cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so seeing 3 2Ks, which is quite nice. And then I think that was a Teach as well. So putting the Teach at the bottom now.
So if we're going to see 8K into the Weevil now.
Yeah, I think you just have to do it.
Just doing the classic, try to remove the opponent's board as much as possible. Only 7?
Only 7. I think it's because he must have something else he wants to play in hand.
If there's a Boa in hand, yeah.
Playing the Boa.
You don't need to go to 9.
No. And
look, once again, the next turn, instantly the amount of cards on each player's board has almost flipped.
Yep, and then he plays that Jozu there, bouncing back the Prona, getting rid of that teach, and we're just playing a game of tennis here, just going back and forth.
It really is. Xavier definitely in the advantage with having multiple Jozus on field already now.
Yep.
Like, that is a huge amount of pressure that's going to be coming through in the next few turns. And, like, realistically, if Zach can't deal with them this turn, I think that Kaido does actually then get slammed next turn. And
yeah, 100%. Because, yeah.
Then we're into a game 3.
That would be. I am hoping that Xavier does pull it through, only just so because I feel like game 3 will be a lot cooler to see. Because, yeah, there's so much pressure on Xavier to win this at the moment. Not much counter in hand for Xavier, so realistically can't save too much if Zach decides to go big.
Yeah, it might be.
I feel like, yeah, play the Sengoku, see what you get, and then map up your turn after that. But, oh no. Back to hand. And then, yeah, 5 cards in hand for Xavier. Xavier already lining up to save that Shumili Jozu.
Alrighty. Looks like the Sengoku is getting committed. Yeah.
Which is fair. Zach has very limited options right now. I think he needs to see what he can get. Maybe a bowl blocker. Oh, Gecko would be nice, just to get some cards back from trash. The biggest threat is those 2 Jozu.
Yeah, just knowing that you're taking 2 7k attacks in a hand where looks like you don't have too many 2ks in there. It's like, I'm definitely going to probably go to 2 life next turn.
Yeah, and Zach does know that Xavier has those Kaidos, so he has to be expecting that will be coming down relatively soon.
Yep.
Yeah, grabs that Gecko. A Shumili to get back, maybe a Boa if he has in trash, or
even another Jinbei.
Potentially. Xavier does know he can't play the Jozu now because I believe he only has
5 Don
5
left,
Don,
yeah.
so you can't even play a Jozu to get rid of that other Jozu. So
yeah, you can put a Don on, like, putting and start swinging though. I think removing the Jinbei even just through attacks is nice.
Yep. Just getting rid of that 6. Yep, laying that die.
Kind of alluding that, like, I might not have any 2k counters.
Yeah.
And if that's the case...
And, interestingly, decides to go for a 5 at lead here. But just discard. Oh, interesting, Verona. Okay.
And then I think just... Oh, yeah, if you've got a teach, you might as well use it.
Might as well. Put him back.
The Gecko.
I think that was the Gecko, yes.
And then... Do you even just go 7 at Jozu?
I think you do, to be honest. Just to, hopefully at the very least get a card out of hand. Oh, I think he's deciding if he actually wants to use ability or just go for 8 at Jozu to get maybe a 2k or 2 cards out of hand. Nope, use lead ability. Getting Jinbei back.
And it went life, so... Look, going down to 2 life is always risky as well.
Yep.
If Xavier does play the Kaido, then if Zach can defend a couple of attackers this turn, then it's just over. But and
Xavier just decided
the Jozu's just being absolute tanks.
And Xavier just playing the Kaido. Zach is at 3 life, so he doesn't get the draw 4, but I think that was a fair play by Xavier, just to see, what Zach did. I think Zach defended a little bit. I think maybe you then go for life to get that draw 4, because you do know you're getting those other 2 2Ks, but If he doesn't counter out, then yeah, just go for field.
Yeah. I felt like Xavier had that play mapped out in his head, and then as soon as he was about to play the card, he was like, wait, is this actually the best thing I can do? Like 12k vanilla at the moment. And it looks like it, honestly, depending on how Zach plays his turn out, it could just win him the game.
Potentially, because he does have 3 attacks with that Sengoku and Teach and Dofi leader, but is a lot of Don commitment.
Yep. That Kaido is 100% just either killing a character every single turn and there's nothing anyone can do about it, or Xavier is able to just like hit face every single turn, put a timer on the clock. Don't necessarily want to give Zach cards though, so I think it's just going to be a really helpful tool in ensuring boards keep empty.
Yep. So there's a question here. Do you just swing with Dofi lead and nothing else? Do you just go into that Jozu and then just pass? Because you have 4 life, so you're in a comfortable position there that it doesn't really matter too much if he hits you 4 times. Playing out the croc there.
Not using the effect to return Sengoku?
Yeah, Xavier is questioning about that. Is you returning that? And he says no, and then counters that was a 2k in that pudding.
Only 3k counter remains in hand, so not a lot. So
no, so it is the question of Zach here. Does he just load up Jinbei there, go for it, get Xavier down to that 1 life? Because he won't die next turn.
No, he can't die.
No, so I feel like Zach here just loads up Jinbei, go for it, and at the very least, it will get most of the cards out of Xavier's hand if he does have it.
Yeah. The other option is he could also use Teach Effect to put a card on top, right?
I believe he already did that before. I could be wrong here. Oh, no.
I don't think he did.
I thought I could have sworn he did before.
And then this way you can go 7/7.
Getting 1 out of hand. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, going I'm not sure what Sengoku's base attack is, but
2,000, so 6k.
6k, yep.
Gets him to 1, and Jinbei was played that turn with as I played the boa.
Oh, apologies.
You're now.
Yeah, this is a tight spot here for Xavier. He kind of needs a boa blocker here. Yep, and he's got that.
But Zach also has a bounce law in hand.
That is true. But so if Xavier is able to clear his field, though, then that will be very beneficial. And we know he has a lot of 2Ks in hand, so...
Can he clear... Well, he can't remove the boa.
He can't remove he can't remove everything, but he can hit
I think
things.
Zach has actually just sort of put himself in a winning position here. Oh, double boa blocker, though. That is not a winning position for Zach anymore.
No, not anymore. But it doesn't also mean he only has 1 active Don left. Also, 2 active Don?
Yep. Oh, 1. Oh, no, 2. You're right.
Apologies.
But
because I touched it with boa.
Yeah. But at this turn, Xavier's just going straight for board. Every single character is...
He has no choice, yeah. It's unfortunate he does have to hit into the Teach and the Sengoku here.
Yep. Even the 1 cost 2Ks can be massive threats when it's just coming to quantity of attacks.
Yep. And Xavier must be thinking as well, if you have the perfume, you just probably win this. So I have to clear board as much as I can, so that way, if I do go to 1 life next turn, then it's like, okay, well. I think there was just a question there about play.
Yeah, because he revealed the buggy on the top of the deck.
Yep.
Does it remain on top of the deck?
I believe it does. I think it might remain face up, but Judge is just saying it can remain face down, which is fine.
Yep. 7 into the croc. That's going to die. Nothing that's going to change about that.
No, nothing at all. And then the other Jozu probably, Sengoku.
Into life.
Into life. Interesting. Okay.
If this is a gravity blade and bottom deck's a boa,
that would be kind of insane. Interesting. It doesn't even actually... Okay. 2 hits for life.
So, now this is almost confirmed final turn. There is...
Yeah, it's not much. I mean, we do know Xavier has quite a few 2Ks in hand, so he might be trying to rely on that. Because Zach has to get 4 hits through. He does have that law in hand, so that...
Does boa have counter?
It does have 1K, I believe. But I don't even know if that matters too much in this match. But Zach does still have to be careful. It's not an instant game win here.
Because this teach into the law bouncer.
Yep.
That provides quite a lot of utility.
I think Zach is doing the math on that. He's like, okay, well, play the law, bounce the boa, play the teach, play another law. Can I have enough power to kill her?
Yep, and then this is teach, put law on top. Yep. Then you swing 7 at life.
Yep. Because, the law resolves before the attack goes through, so he returns boa. So 4 cards in hand for Xavier.
And 3 Don left, so that's 2 more 7Ks coming through.
Yep. And we know he only has two 1Ks in hand. And does have another 2K.
He's actually got 2 2Ks and 2 1Ks.
Oh, okay, so he was not purposely hiding there, but just was folded out. And unfortunately, a Kaido there. And
Yep, so Boa has no counter.
Yeah, so Xavier has conceded there. So congratulations to Zach there, taking out the Melbourne